I saw you playing Spider-Man. I was like, wait a minute, we're missing someone. let me message him. Yeah, I woke up, thought it was Monday. I thought it was Monday. Yeah, I feel that. Alright, 3, 2, 1. And we're back with another episode of the Scale Fate with our Chaos crew, or the Party B. So previously, really it was a solo session last. The rest of you had been kind of hanging out within the monastery atop the mountain in Winter's Bane, while Errol was going through some intense training, as well as doing a couple other things around the monastery, and almost getting the topaz dragon that he had befriended, technically, caught by Kala, the monk of the monastery. And we're kind of starting this episode off on the next day, after Errol's second day of training. You all, I guess, awake in your own places. What would everyone be doing this morning? When he gets back, I'll ask him as well.
What's the time?
I'm back.
I would say it's about sunrise.
Oh yeah. No, my character would be trying to get more sleep probably.
Okay, Errol.
I'm joking, I don't know.
It's early the next day after your second day of training, which was mostly the mental stuff that you were doing.
The mental fuckery and also sneaky with the dragon.
Yes, breaking into Kala's room.
Oh yeah, I forgot I did that.
Yes.
I think I'd let Toothless out, and then I'd go see if I can make that weapon. Or find someone to make that weapon.
Remind me of the weapon again?
It's the scythe with the chain connected to like a
that one.
Object.
Yes, I do remember what you're talking about now. Yes.
Yeah.
The chain weapon.
It's like a finesse weapon.
Yes. I think we would just label it as like the same thing as a sickle. I think is what we determined. It would have an increased range.
I was gonna try to see if I could get Fuck, I'm blanking on. I remember you told me the enchant that that Cobalt had on his.
Oh, the certain death.
Yeah, I was gonna see. I'll need to find a blacksmith first, but I was gonna try to get that enchantment on the actual sickle part, and then the weighted ball at the end. I was gonna try to see if I could get like a flame. I don't know how enchantments work, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're going out to do this, roll, let's say, investigation.
Investigation. I have a +0 to that. Let's go, baby.
What a fucking failure.
I agree.
Yes, Dread's back to just insult me. I got an 18.
An 18. That's good enough for me. It takes you a little bit. It takes you probably about an hour going through this like little town that's upon the top of the mountain. You do find someone that is a blacksmith. Though looking within the space that they have, and kind of as you were looking around as well, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of enchantments up here. Or enchanters is a better word. It seems most of the weapons are just plain steel and bone and wood or whatever they're made of, you know. Though you do find a Goliath up here that is currently working within his forge, seems to be kind of setting things up for the day. And like when you walk in, he is currently, it looks like he's probably repairing a sword of some sort. And he's kind of got his back to the front entrance.
I'd knock on the door. Said, "Good morning, good sir."
He'd kind of stop what he's doing, glances towards you, takes in your appearance, and he looks a little confused as well as slightly intrigued why there is a very small Owlin at his door. setting down his hammer and kind of moving the blade off to the side, he comes over and stops probably about 3-4 feet from you. And just says, "What can I help you with?"
I've been training over at the monastery. I was wondering if a man of your skill would be able to construct a weapon for me. It's something that my people had used back in my homeland. You see, with my current size, I don't think I would be able to wield one of the blades that that you have, but I do have one of these that you could use as a foundation, and I'll present the dagger. I got 2 of them, so I'll pull out one.
He kind of...
And then I had drawn a schematic for this before, so I'll show him the schematic as
So
well.
you hold up the schematic and the dagger.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of takes both of them and, holding the dagger in kind of his left hand and looking over the schematic, kind of nods a few times. He says, "I could definitely make something like this. It would probably take me, let's say, a day."
I appreciate it, sir. And I'll give him 100 gold coins, and I'll just say this is just something for now, and let me know how much it costs later.
He takes this, or takes the gold, and a little confused by the amount that you've just kind of just randomly handed him, he says, well, "This is more than enough. I'll get working on this right away." He kind of pockets the gold and quickly takes the dagger off and puts the schematic down on a table and starts rummaging through stuff to start making this blade.
I'd probably just go back and check on Toothless before heading into the monastery then.
Yeah, Toothless kind of... It seems that he's kind of picked an area that he likes to hang out in the mornings whenever you let him out. You find him there. It's kind of on the cliffside. It's away from everyone in this town. He seems to try to avoid people as much as possible.
Yeah, I'll just go hang out with him, give him some food and all of that.
All right.
What's everyone else going to be doing?
Yeah, I was gonna... What does everyone else like to do during this time?
I don't know, practice poker skills.
try to learn how to beat Trinket.
Yes.
All right. So when you get up, it'd probably be after Errol's left. Cal would have probably not been far behind Errol. You probably catch Cal as he's kind of heading out onto this kind of outer walkway. Trinket would still be sound asleep, kind of off in the corner. Journey would also be asleep as well, who's not here right now.
Classic.
Yeah, they would both be asleep, kind of trying not to wake up due to the sun, have blankets over their head or pillows or whatnot. Alright, so you want to practice your poker skills?
Yes. Sleight of hand, potentially as well. You know what I'm saying?
Alright, roll me a... I'll say roll a sleight of hand check.
Let me get that, let me find the number for that. Bad boy. Alright, there it is. Alright. Oh, I got a 21. Let's go.
Alright. Do you have proficiency in that?
Nope.
No? Okay. You practice your sleight of hand. It's not anything difficult by any means, though you do find yourself fumbling on occasion, trying to get the cards to move certain ways, and focusing on this probably for a decent amount of time. You kind of get into a rhythm, but it's not something that you are able to keep per se, if that makes sense.
What do you mean?
I'm saying you don't become proficient yet. You're getting but
I
you are not.
see.
You're gonna need more practice, obviously.
I see.
Yes.
Would I be able to wrestle with Toothless the same, like try to imitate the same way the monk, whatever?
Yes.
I'm blanking that fucking name.
Kala.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes. I would say roll me. Let's say athletics. You're wrestling a giant hound.
Yes, my negative modifier is what I call him clutch. A 10.
All right. I rolled against you. Just letting you know. So
I'm aware.
I rolled like shit. So he doesn't seem to be like in an aggressive mood by any means.
Right
So
back.
it's more of like a very playful wrestle. There's a few times that you find him pinning you, a few times that he kind of lets you pin him type deal. Though anyone looking upon this might find this to be adorable, others may just find it disgusting because they are warriors, not, pet owners. Though you do this for a decent amount of time before he kind of, I wouldn't say walk away, but he shows signs of like, yeah, I'm done. I don't feel like doing this anymore.
Fair enough.
Kind of like sits down like after a while and just stares at you. But welcome back, Journey. You'd probably be waking up by this point. Not you. Journey's here as well.
Journey's muted though.
I see that.
Is real quick question: is anyone opposed to me getting ice cream?
Yes, I'm lactose intolerant.
All right, so I hear a yes for me getting ice cream. Anyone else?
Fuck you.
Yeah,
I'm
go get it. Fuck Tyler.
intolerant.
Fuck you.
Are you actually?
Yeah.
That's a 2 for getting ice cream. Anyone else?
Yes, because Tyler hates it.
All right,
Fuck
I'm
you.
gonna count that as 2 votes. So 4 for yes. Anyone else?
So a no is 1 vote of yes, and a yes is 2 votes.
No.
of yes.
No for from people who are lactose intolerant are yes.
I can eat ice cream. I just have to perform a certain act. It's a ritual that I must do before I can do it.
All right, I count that as another yes. So that's 5 yeses.
Fuck you.
Just go get your ice cream.
Just go get your ice cream, cunt.
Well, I gotta order it and then go just pick it up.
Oh, you fucking nerd.
What do you mean by that, though?
You know what I mean.
No, I don't. What do you mean by that?
Oh, you know what I mean. Let's continue. Anyone else like to do something on this very fine morning?
Oh, I'm just gonna go into the monastery.
No! It's fucking closed. I can't get ice cream. No!
Let's fucking go. God has smited thee.
Planned this. You planned this.
Hello, Nate.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I'm on my iPad and my Beats or whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna
And
say
set my
your
laptop.
audio quality is a little different than normal, but it's not bad by any means.
Cool. Yeah, I'm moving my sister out to college right now, so we're in California.
Oh, that's
Ew,
fun.
California, gross.
I'm from California, fucker.
Did I fucking stutter?
The state itself is beautiful. The people suck. That's all I have to say.
The state itself is on fire. What do you mean?
Hey, I'm a pyromaniac, okay?
Fair enough.
You think I'm gonna treat California better because you're from it? My man, you don't know Chris, but Chris is from California.
I actually just say I'm not from there, even though I was born there. That's really what it comes down to.
I was born in Florida.
Oh.
Ah, where
Sure,
old people
right.
go to marinate.
What?
I love that definition of Florida. I'm gonna use that.
It's where old people go to marinate and die. That's really what it is.
That's how-
Do I need to be caught up on anything?
Everyone
yes.
is waking up.
Also-
I will wake up.
Last session, I may or may not have accidentally fucked up and told the Kala that there's a dragon underneath the cave. So, at all costs, do not go down there right now because he's looking for that bitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kala's on red alert looking for a dragon to fight.
Throw hands.
You said you did it
No,
on
no.
accident?
You can't throw hands. He throws hand.
Oh, true. Yeah, I forgot. I thought that I had mixed up in my notes what he had said. I thought he had seen or he was aware that the dragon was there. He had just simply knew of the presence of the dragon.
He'd
And
seen the dragon before, but didn't know it was living nearby.
yeah, he didn't know it was literally underneath his home. So, don't worry, I recovered kind of well.
Anyways, what else would anyone else like to do this morning while he is wrestling Toothless and eventually coming back?
Anyone want to play poker with me?
Oh yeah, Leo
Oh,
was
as another note, Journey, you weren't a part of the poker match, but you did probably witness Trinket cheating in poker, and that Leo didn't notice.
I wouldn't have said anything.
But I'd probably say Journey and Trinket were the last two to get up. I would say.
What about Andraka? What are you doing?
Traka sits on a ledge on the edge of the building, staring somewhere probably.
Yes.
It could be at the building itself. We don't know. He's staring somewhere right now. But, yeah, those who are in the monastery right now, is there anything you wish to do? And this would include Magnus, who is still sitting in another chamber with his still unconscious yet recovering sister.
Oh, would Journey have understood any of the shit that I had copied down? Journey, what languages do you speak?
Just common and infernal.
Oh, was Infernal one of them? I'm pretty sure.
I think it was a mix of giant and infernal.
Right.
Man is speaking two languages at the same time.
I'm gonna
So,
bring the manuscripts that I have copied.
Or
to
was it
Journey.
abyssal? Do you not have the note? Because I fucking lost it.
I have. It literally says giant and infernal / abyssal with a question mark.
I think
So
it was.
don't
I
know if
think
he
it was
was
abyssal. I don't think it was infernal. Actually, I think it was abyssal.
oh.
I'm gonna fix that then.
You had both written, and for some reason, some of my notes got deleted recently, and I don't know what happened, or they just didn't save. That's really probably what happened. But I'm missing a few bullets. Anyways. What would anyone like to do while he is returning? I'll take that as nothing. Okay. Errol, you come back. You do find Cal kind of sitting on. He's like standing out on the walkway that you'd gone out to several times, and he's kind of just leaned over like the edge of it, like on I guess the railing of this walkway, just kind of looking out over the ocean. It's a spot you've seen him take once or twice now that you guys have been here for like 3 or 4 days. But
I would just say, "What's up?"
kind of glance towards you, and you see on his face he's like contemplating something. And as you normally see him, he does have the tarot cards in his hand, as he seems to never put them down. And you do see kind of between one of his fingers, he's been rotating a card that you just kind of, like, at first you didn't notice, but now you are noticing it. And he kind of pushes off the railing and says, I don't have a good feeling about what's to come in the next few days.
How so?
He kind of holds up the card, and I can't remember if any of you have seen this card, but the card kind of depicts the way he's holding it. The top of the card shows the hand of demons and devils burning and tearing apart what looks to be a disc of some sort. The disc itself looking to be the depiction of the material plane, while the other half, the half that's kind of partially covered by his hand, looks to be the material plane being formed by what you could only assume within the picture being the hands of gods, as gently being molded within the astral sea. And he kind of holds it up and he says, as of now, it looks like that we may have some destruction in our future.
Well, we are in a land where portals exist to the underworld, so...
I don't think it's
Nothing
something
will
with
surprise me.
that. I have a feeling it's something else.
Maybe the war?
Possibly.
We might need to get over there sooner.
It is a possibility, yes.
By the way, would your cards be able to help me locate something?
It depends. What kind of thing are you looking for?
I'm looking for a ring with a nebula-like crystal.
Maybe in time, but as of now, I don't think they would be able to tell me anything.
Then let's just keep that between us.
Of course.
Alright, I'd go inside.
Yeah. He stays outside. He kind of stares at the card that he showed you and slides it back into the deck and goes back to leaning over the railing, looking out over everything. And Draco, would you like to do anything?
Nope.
All right. You're just watching Cal.
Yep.
All right. Awesome. Okay. The rest of you seeing Errol and his fanged beast companion enter the space. Is there anything you all wish to do as he enters?
Probably ask Errol, how's the training going?
Well, yesterday he strapped a bunch of spiky shit on me and made me sit on a thing of, like, nails.
That sounds, maybe he's into that, I don't know.
That's such a bard
How
comment.
do you...
I am working on getting a new weapon. Something that's a little more suited and would definitely help out with our heat metal combo.
Well, there's
Classic
that.
combo.
It's a tool used by the people in my monastery. It's a scythe with a chain connected to a heavy iron ball or steel, depending on what material is used.
Well, that sounds as dangerous to its wielder as to your enemy, but you do you. Any idea how long this is gonna, take?
Well, Cal is a little worried about something in the future, so I'm hoping to wrap this up. Maybe accelerate this.
Sounds good to me. Don't want to, rush your training, but, I'm getting a little anxious about, just sitting here and
If we
just all
need,
that.
I can meet you guys at port to head over to the war front.
Okay. Okay.
It's whatever the master has planned for me. Oh, I did find out. If I want to get those tattoos he has, I have to go fight a demon in hell. So I don't think I'm doing that anytime soon.
Wait, what? Oh, okay. It's an interesting training regimen.
Oh,
And
I
it's
will
like,
surely
repeat?
die. But at least I don't have to, take an extra trip down to hell. I'm already there. So if I die there, I'll just stay.
Certainly a way of thinking about it.
Where would you guys be going after this?
I I think we were gonna be heading back to. I mean, there's the whole heading to Amoria thing, but also something about Magus's mom.
I think you guys, he said Bloodkeep is where you want to go next, and then from
Bloodkeep.
there you would leave.
Yeah, the Bloodkeep.
That's what it was.
How far away is Bloodkeep from here? Player to DM.
Similar trip to every other path you've taken, probably take you 5-6 days, maybe more,
Okay.
depending on what happens.
Yeah. Worst case, I would just meet you guys over there.
Okay.
I do have a traveling partner. I'll motion the Toothless.
I guess, as you kind of say this, the door opens and Cal kind of slowly makes his way into the room, kind of looking at all of you, kind of surveying what's going on, getting an idea of what the conversation may be about. He says, I think we should probably try to get out of here soon.
Well, that's not ominous.
Well, I have a feeling there's a storm coming, and we need to beat it.
Like, you mean like a snowstorm or a like fire and brimstone kind of storm?
I'm not entirely sure. All I know is it'd be best if we leave soon, probably within the next day or so.
Okay. I guess you have your timetable, Errol.
Yep. I'll go talk to Master Colin, see what can be done.
Okay. You're heading out there to find him?
Yep.
You find the main sanctuary, or the main kind of hall again, empty, as you had before. There doesn't seem to be any sign of him within the space.
I'm gonna use the serpent and see if he can locate him. I'm too lazy.
The serpent? Oh, that serpent. Yes,
Yeah.
That's right. Alright, you summon him and he does his little scouting routine and comes back and he says, well, it looks that he's within his chambers again. I would, tell him that you're looking for him, but I can't.
What's he doing in his chambers? Sleeping, or is he rummaging through?
He's sitting before a desk, seeming to be meditating over something.
That's good or bad. We'll find out.
Yes, perhaps. No, I have no idea what he's doing. It's beyond anything I've seen before.
Alright. I'd call out and I said, Master Kala, are you here?
There's a pause. Quiet, probably. This silence kind of lingers through the air for about probably a minute or so before the door opens and he kind of steps out. And you kind of get the idea he probably didn't sleep the night before. Like, he looks tired, but he also doesn't show it all that much. It's like a very subtle, like, slight bags under the eyes. I'm trying to think of some of the other symptoms. Slight, looking off
There be
in
a
the middle distance a
slouch
tiny
or
bit.
something?
Huh?
Like a slouch at all?
Ever so slightly.
Yeah. Okay.
Be a very slight thing. Like, you can tell mentally he's still holding strong, but he is a little more weared down than he normally is. And he comes out and he says, He says, well, fuck, I'm blanking out myself here. Holy shit. It's one of those
Looking at
days.
the DM, let's go.
It's one of those days. I'm having one of those days. It's fine. I thought it was Monday this morning. That's the kind of day it's been.
This guy.
He comes out and he just says, I assume you're looking for more training.
Do you know how much more training I would need?
And he kind of looks off to the side a little bit, tapping his chin, and he just says, to be honest, you would require months of training for whatever you're looking for, but I don't think you have the time.
No. We might need to be heading out soon to Bloodkeep. Something's coming. We don't know what. It's just bad omens.
It's probably another blizzard. They're common now, and I will probably go for a hunt while it's going on.
I don't know if it's a blizzard he speaks of, but maybe.
He kind of
Unhappy little blizzard.
fun, happy little blizzard. Happy. Bob Ross was in a blizzard. And he kind of pauses for a moment after you say that, and he says, is there anything that you want to tell me? Anything that you feel I should know? And you see his gaze has kind of changed from kind of this tired look to very fixated and like suspicious gaze on you.
Not that I could think of. I did just find a blacksmith, so I'm getting an item crafted, but other than that, nothing comes to mind other than slight concerns of the dragon.
Persuasion or deception with advantage, because you are putting truth into it.
Let's see what my persuasion is. What am I better at? Oh, deception, of course. Alright. Oh, 21. I have a plus 5.
21.
Those are
Plastic.
16 to 5.
He, as you say, this kind of eyes you down, kind of looking you up and down before seeming to break his gaze, and kind of shifts past you. Just he doesn't say anything. He kind of gives off the impression that like he's like kind of like whatever kind of impression. Just like he feels you're hiding more, but you show no sign of it. And it seems you've not convinced him, but you've satisfied the suspicion for now. And
Why?
he kind
What
of
concerns you, sir?
he pauses and kind of glances towards you and just says, "You spoke of a dragon that's living nearby, and I'm looking for a fight with something nearby. Does that answer your question?"
I don't think that dragon is necessarily looking for a fight, nor poses a danger, so to speak. I've met him in the past on one of our other journeys. I had traded an artifact with him, but he does not seem to be as malevolent as the white dragon.
Well, if he has things that you speak of the magical nature, all the more reason to find him.
I would assume if you're trying to take his possessions, he may not like that. Why? What could he possibly have that you would need?
I don't know, but there are plenty
Fighting
of,
spirit.
there are plenty of things that, well, people like the priestess could use that these dragons hold from us.
Hmm. Just silence. Just Errol thinking. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck to say.
I've returned the favor. I've stumped the player.
Personally, I think that mortals or people of our kind really shouldn't be meddling with too high of powers. I feel like dragons may have a better understanding of that, to some extent. But what do I know? I'm just an owlin.
You know very little, considering most of the people here have survived death itself. I don't think one who's been able to do such a feat is someone you can call immortal.
Yes, but if you're surviving death, are they really all there when they come back?
It's not about that. It's about much more than just that.
Then what is it about? Enlighten me. 'Cause I have no understanding of the arcanes.
As you've probably heard from Magnus, or others from here, the soul is meant to be bargained and broken off. And that's what we use it for. It is a simple means of dominance over everyone else, and getting what we feel is ours.
How would the dragon's items help you attain that? One of his nature. Well, he does have the item that I gave him. However, I'd prefer no one really has that. It's too dangerous in the wrong hands.
He doesn't quite say anything. He just kind of... The look he kind of gives you is one of a mixture of, like, amusement yet disdain. Not exactly sure how else to describe it. Like, the doubting that you have in him seems to amuse him, but also seems to bring a level of, like, dislike to you. And then he simply kind of turns away and heads towards the chamber of which Magnus and his sister are located in. You say anything or do anything?
I'll follow.
Okay. Magnus, you sitting there with your sister who... She seems physically a bit more lively, as in, like, the coloration in her skin is back. She's not quite as pale as she was before. She is breathing normally. She just hasn't woken up yet, is the only issue that you're having at the moment. She does seem to be a bit weak. And you would probably, kind of understanding this, probably understand it as when someone loses part of their soul, they tend to be weakened a little bit. And considering the results of what had happened, considering she both lost soul and body, she is quite weak because of all of the recovering that is required from what happened. if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But Kala comes in, kind of pushes open the door. Errol kind of slipping in behind him, and he just comes in and asks, "How is the priestess?" Magnus.
Weak. I think she's getting better.
If anyone is to survive death as she has, it would be her.
Yes.
And I will say, by this point, you probably would have told him exactly like what happened. And kind of, he's been the one who's kind of been caring for her, like coming in and helping whenever he's not training Errol. So he's been kind of visiting from time to time.
Is the bird adequate?
Far from it, but yeah, there's a bit of potential there.
I don't know how you do it, Kala.
Do what exactly?
Still have so much energy with this life you lead. Being a warrior. I thought I would die before I started getting tired.
There are ways to keep things more interesting. He kind of gestures towards Errol, and it's like, such as a dragon that the bird told me about.
A dragon.
Is Kala facing me, or is his back to me?
It's like, you're not directly behind him, you're kind of like to his right side a little bit, but you are like, he has to turn his head a little bit in order to look at you in any kind of way.
Would I be able to move a little more out of his line of sight and kind of shake my head?
You can.
Stealthily to Magnus.
Yeah, roll a stealth check. Against Kala noticing you.
Stealth, don't fail me now.
This is kind of your like forte, like if you fail this.
44. Alright.
Okay. The hell is your
You
modifier?
get a 34? Jeez, you fucking failed.
24.
24. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I heard
Not,
44.
I don't have the pass without a trace. That would be funny though.
Okay, so yeah. Kala does not notice you. Magnus, you would be able to see him do this. Because you are kind of looking at him as he does this.
What about a dragon? We all know dragons live in the continent.
Apparently, there's one that lives below the monastery that has quite a few interesting things within his dwelling.
A dragon below this monastery.
I'm just as surprised as you might be.
Do you already have a raiding party?
Why would I do that when I could just do it myself?
A teachable moment.
He kind of nods and he says, "It could be. I just have to find it first."
Well, more students need to learn tracking skills anyway.
Nods a few times. He says, "I'm surprised that the wisdom that you have, even after everything I know you've been through and done.
You of all people should know age begets wisdom.
That I do. And I have also learned that sometimes the best way to get something done is do it yourself.
It's only the best way to do it if it doesn't end in your death. This dragon, it may just be one I'm familiar with. And while you'll end it, you may not like how you feel afterwards.
He kind of shrugs a little bit. He says, I've done a lot of things that have made me feel in ways I did not approve in the past. This would be no different. If it came to that.
Our bodies can only tell so many stories with the scars we hold, Kala. How about we avoid a few this time? Just get a kill team of your best students and lead them down there. You'll still be the one to kill the thing.
Persuasion check.
It's a 15.
He seems to weigh it out and just says, I'll consider. He kind of pats you on the shoulder a little bit and just says, like, even though it like burns his hand a little bit, he pats your shoulder and he kind of just says, you've done well for what I've heard about the things you've done, and as long as you've been gone.
Yes. Why don't I assist you, Kala? Why don't I go there with you? A dragon head would be very nice.
Why not? And he kind of turns to lead you out of the room.
I'm just glaring at Magnus.
Alright.
Where are they going?
The Kala leads Magnus out towards like the front doors and like pushes out into like the front area.
I'd tail a little behind.
Okay. What's your passive perception, Errol?
28.
28. Okay, you would notice this. As you're kind of tailing behind them and kind of following, you do notice two things. One, you notice along the cliffside you see Octavian kind of shifting about, seeming to be trying to get as far away from the cave as possible, as quietly as possible. And you also notice you see Cal seeming to be climbing down the side of the mountain towards Octavian, seeming to be avoiding the main paths.
Fuck. Like he's heading towards the den?
He's heading towards Octavian, who's leaving the den. Octavian's not near the entrance, you know that. Like, he's on the cliff that you have to climb down to the den, and he seems to be trying to move kind of northward, or southwards away from it.
I'd make my way over to, Cal.
Tyler,
Yes.
while Magnus follows Kala out, like, are we going through the main grounds, so are we seeing those training?
Yes. You would be going
Alright.
through there.
Magnus would just, like, take a second to speak to Kala, just like, well, do you want me to call for a crew, or will you?
Let's see who you pick.
Magnus just raises his shield and bangs it loud against his axe and just yells out to this courtyard and just, we need a kill team. We're going dragon hunting.
You see most of them get excited about this. How many are you looking for to get? There's about 15 Goliaths that were out here that were training.
There's about 15, I'll say about 8. Yeah.
Okay. It seems that there's probably about 11 of them who volunteer for this. The other 4 seem, intrigued but uninterested.
Alright, okay.
So,
would I have made it to Cal while he's doing that?
yes, this would have taken some time.
Alright, I'm just gonna... Oh, we're out of earshot of them, right?
You are down like the cliffside. Cal is making a climb that if a person who couldn't fly messed up, they would fall onto like jagged rocks.
Alright, just gonna say to Cal they're going to try to kill the dragon. I might need some help, and then I'm gonna make my way over to Octavian.
Okay. Cal,
I'm gonna stealth as well.
okay. Cal, realizing kind of the urgency of what is happening, is going to... You see him actually kind of pause for a moment. He kind of shakes his head and he jumps. And as he does, you see him pull kind of a feather from his pocket and wave it in the air, and you see this kind of like silvery glow go around him as he kind of slows down and drops slowly down to the kind of platform that Octavian is on, or near.
We make it to him at the same time.
You would get there first. You have a faster fly speed than he would be falling, I'm pretty sure.
Like Octavian, they're coming for the dragon. Magnus is helping him. They're getting a kill group together.
I had a feeling this was coming. And you see him pull out from his from the bag of holding that he has on him this sending stone, similar to the one that you gave him, and you hear him say, "It's time to move everything." You see him kind of like stare at the stone for a second, kind of nod a few times, and then look to you and just says, "All right, well, I'm heading towards the new den of his with some of his stuff. The rest of it's still in there. Hopefully, he can move fast enough to get most of it out.
I'll try to slow them down as much as I can.
If you need," and he kind of makes a hand gesture towards you, and you see both Smoke and Mirror land on either of your shoulders. They'll give you assistance.
I appreciate it, friend. And then I'll just make my way back up to the cliffside, and I'll stand just facing the group that's amassing.
The two birds, as you kind of fly up, kind of separate from you, and they fly like behind you. Think of like the Star Wars formation. They're doing that kind of gesture, but reversed. And they kind of land beside you and are kind of like waiting for command, I guess would be the term. Cal seems to talk with Octavian for a second. And as you're kind of flying up, you do see him kind of look towards you before seeming to just kind of disappear.
I'd say, Cal, if you could still hear me, see if the others are willing to help.
You hear him say back, "I'll see what I can do." Yeah.
Alright. Shit.
Journey, you would hear a voice, the voice of Cal within your head, saying, "We might have a problem. It seems Magnus is going for the dragon. And he's bringing Kala and others."
I'll just facepalm, considering Errol told me like he might have accidentally let it slip. It's like a massive Jean-Luc Picard facepalm. And then I'll just like assuming that Trinket and Leo and you never know with our lizard friend, but I assume he's not freezing his scales off in the dead of winter. So I'll tell him so Magnus and his mentor and the warriors of this temple might be going to try to kill our dragon friend beneath the monastery. So wait, when you say let's go, do you mean let's go kill the dragon or let's try to prevent them from killing the dragon, Leo? That's an important distinction to make.
Prevent.
Okay.
I think Magnus is kind of... Let's just go. What side's Errol on? He's trying to prevent, correct?
Yeah, he's trying to prevent.
Yeah.
No, I was asking the character. Like that was my character asking that.
Yeah, this is sort of like his fault. He's trying to, prevent it from happening. So,
I see.
well, I say we stroll down there, see what's up.
Yeah, maybe we can talk the man who, resurrected his sister out of it.
Yeah.
Death.
What do you think, Trinket?
I don't exactly want to fight Magnus, but whatever you guys think is best.
Okay. Andraka?
Andraka's outside. Andraka's not in the building. He's still outside.
I'm gonna go outside and yell at the roof. Andraka!
They're out there.
They would be in the front courtyard. This is kind of off. This is like a walkway on the side of the building. But as you kind of go out, Trinket follows. Do the rest of... I guess I would assume Leo follows Journey as well. Andraka,
Perhaps.
you hear your name called.
Yep.
What are you gonna do?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Yet.
Just sit there? Alright,
Want
Journey...
to potentially fight some dudes?
Why?
They're trying to kill that dragon that we're kind of in bed with.
Whoa! Speak for yourself.
That's
Metaphorically.
such a bard thing to say.
I've never met the dragon. Why would I care?
We got boons. We got boons. Like boons.
Why would I need a boon from a dragon?
I don't know. Why wouldn't you want one?
I already have boons from the one I care about.
Fine. Freeze your ass off on top of the building.
Alright. Alright, so I assume...
I'm gonna slowly get down.
As they're starting to walk away, Andraka slithers off of the roof. Or, it's not even the
I
roof.
imagine
my
I
hell.
hear a massive sigh from him.
You do, yes. I sigh extraordinarily loud.
The ordinary sigh.
If I didn't know any better, I'd say that sigh was probably extraordinary, personally.
Oh my god.
Of course I do know better.
Alright. As you guys kind of make your way over to where Errol is, you do see Magnus picking out Goliaths from a crowd. Picking 8 of the ones that he feels are the most fit. Kala kind of nodding as he makes his selection or whatever. You said you're positioned on the cliffside, Errol? Are you positioned?
Yeah, a little bit away from the cliffside.
A little bit away. You're trying to be in their path, right?
Essentially.
Okay. So, all of you kind of find each other standing upon this path that leads down to the cliffside.
I would say something like, "Good morning, Magnus. Fancy seeing you here at the monastery, your people. Totally unexpected. How's your sister doing?"
She's doing better. She's doing better.
It's wonderful to hear. So I hear you might be gathering a kill team to go murk a dragon.
As there's a
That
bunch
true?
of Goliaths standing behind him.
Yes. Dragons are smart. We all know this, but no smart dragon settles in Goliath territory. That's a danger to everyone here. It needs to be dealt with.
Okay, what if we could convince it to leave? Because that may or may not be the dragon that we've kind of been working with via Arrow to protect us from the white dragon we / Arrow might have royally pissed off.
He's also helping with the Almoria front. I would have told you that, but you weren't here for the solo session.
Gala,
Kala just kind of looks towards you.
getting rid of it better than exterminating it? I mean, it's a dragon after all. Some of these trainees will lose them limbs.
Just save everyone the trouble. I think Earl said something about making a deal with it to help with our Almoria situation as well.
No, it's already helping with Almoria.
A loss of limb never stopped a Goliath before. Gestures to his missing arm.
Magnus just kind of like holds a hand up a little bit, just like, I understand wishing to get rid of it. However, if what they say is true, it's a tactical asset. It's a tactical asset in a battle I've seemed to have found myself in the middle of. So, would having it move out of our territory be acceptable?
Persuasion check.
Can I make the check?
You
Or,
can.
can I assist the check?
You can. If you want to add something, I will let you make the check with advantage because Magnus said something first.
Okay. Then I'll say something like, "What's happening in Almoria we think could have wider ramifications, including to Blood Gulch. I'm sure keeping the dragon alive, if at arm's reach, would provide some advantage to your people down the line, as well as mine."
All right, roll your check.
Okay. Sorry, I'm using the app for the first time, so you gotta. Okay, you said persuasion.
If you want to hold, I think if you hold the dice thing or the check, it will let you pick with advantage.
Okay. So
the app.
Yeah, the app.
Okay, I got 25 the first time, and 8 the second time. I mean, and 21 the second time, so I'll go with the 25.
Okay. He seems to nod a little bit. Almost. You gotta get the idea, like, he was really looking forward to a fight. Kind of sighs, and he just says, "Well, with that knowledge that I didn't have before," and he gestures for the rest of the Goliaths to kind of disperse, and he says, "I'll let it slide for now, as long as it leaves."
Let it slide because we're in the mountains and it's all snowy.
Magnus just looks over at Errol and it's just like, send the creature on its way. We don't get lucky breaks like this all the time.
It's already been on its way.
Good.
And perhaps it will leave something behind. I'm sure that could be of use to your people.
Maybe.
And I've not told it of any attempt to broker some kind of treaty on its behalf. So if it leaves in a hurry, there may be loot left.
It's leaving right now. However, you're not able to go down at the moment.
Well, I'm glad that managed to be sorted. And I truly am happy to hear that your sister is on the path to recovery, Magnus.
Kala, do you have any available scouts, or are they busy?
We have some, yes.
A white dragon. White dragon. What the hell? I need.
We never
more
got his name.
details.
He is aware of it, though. He knows of it.
The white dragon, Kala. If you want one's head, that's the one to take.
Yes, it appears to be quite a menace.
It was attempting to obtain an artifact that could allow it to destroy continents.
It's also an adversary of our ally down beneath the monastery. So if you found a way to eliminate it for him, I'm sure you would benefit from it beyond having a brand new trophy.
He nods a few times and kind of smiles a little bit. And then you see him turn and kind of walk off. And only those who speak giant would hear him say, pretty much, I'm trying to think of the exact words he would say because I'm blanking out again. I'm having the terrible moment. He would just shout out something about, everyone who wants to go hunt a dragon, get your things. We leave in the morning. And he's heading towards his monastery.
I would say, Magnus, is he going to go kill the white dragon?
Yes.
Well, I'd say that worked out well for all parties involved.
Magnus, the dragon may be able to help with your sister as well. I could ask for a favor, seeing how you spared its life.
And sent a giant kill team after its adversary. I'm sure you might be able to get some assistance out of the dragon because of that.
Thank you.
Alright.
I need to... will we be leaving after that? Will we be ready to leave?
Yes, Master Kala said I would need several months to obtain what I need, so I will be satisfied with what I have now.
Yes, we had already made for plans to leave tomorrow as it is. Cal had foreboding premonitions about some coming storm, and we don't think it's simply a blizzard.
Whoever stays here to get ready to leave, do so. Whoever's going to speak to the creature, do so.
I would accompany you, Magnus, to speak with the creature.
I
would be going to speak to the creature.
Yeah.
Do not know this dragon, and I need to leave a message with Kala before I leave. It's important.
Magnus will have the sleigh ready for your sister. It should just need to be harnessed to Toothless. We'll be ready to go.
Good. She needs to get to the Blood Keep. It's the safest place for her to recover.
You hear from behind you, Lot. You hear Trinket let out like a sigh of relief and nearly like fall over due to the stress she was just feeling out of this.
I would gesture to the two ravens, cast Pass Without a Trace, stealth, and go down to the cave. Adios.
They both
Oh, jeez.
they both
You could
coo, and they both jump
could-
up and follow you.
You could have them. You should relay a message to the dragon, so we can broker some kind of deal on behalf of Magnus's sister.
I'm going to go do that first.
Yeah. I'd go down, but I'll break my ass doing it. So
I think it's best I go.
Okay. Errol, you
I got a 36.
30. Yeah, you are. They lose sight of you almost instantly as you head down there rapidly due to the spell. You do notice going along the path there is a little bit of blood on the path. It doesn't look to be dragon's blood because that has a very distinct kind of appearance to it. And you do notice that it goes to where the illusion is before heading towards kind of where the cliff is.
I'd go to the... I'd follow the path. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, when you check the illusion itself, you do find just behind it, the tunnel has been collapsed.
I'll say to the birds, do either of you know how to get down there?
They both look down where the blood path is kind of leading into the water.
Can you swim?
They both shake their heads.
I think then it's best you go back to your master, unless you wish to accompany me.
They both kind of give you like a nod, kind of a caw, before both taking off and heading off in the direction you saw Octavian going.
I'd use the sending stone to send a message to Octavian. I'd just say, we avoided the conflict. They're letting the dragon live. As long as he leaves, your birds are heading back to you. Is the beast still in the lair?
It takes a second for you to hear back, and you hear, he should be. It's good to hear things are resolved.
we yell down to Errol, "Hey,
If
maybe tell him about the kill team going after his nemesis."
And if you're able to find a way in, it's probably going to be submerged pretty deep, if anything. And that's where the message kind of ends.
Okay. I was just gonna kind of... yeah, do you know how owls can, like, tighten up their feathers?
Yes.
I'm gonna do that and then just take a deep breath and dive into the water.
Con save.
God save, go. Turn off advantage. 15.
15. That's pretty good. You will take 4 points of cold damage due to how frigid this water is. Though you do not lose your breath when you hit the water, as one would whenever they hit cold water. Swimming down. Actually, roll me an athletics check. Athletics. It would be athletics because acrobatics doesn't quite work for swimming.
Yeah.
This is just going to determine how fast you're swimming, essentially.
16. It was a 17, but I got a negative modifier. And then,
Okay.
by the way, whenever it gets dark enough, I try to use my shadow step.
Okay. You probably head down probably a good 40, 50 feet under the water before you find what looks to be a tunnel of sorts that goes deep into the mountain. And due to your dark vision, you can tell, even though very blurry, this does look to head in the direction of his lair. And as you kind of swim through, it takes you a decent amount of time, and though with your shadow step you're able to speed it up, you do make it to the end of this tunnel just before running out of breath, and you do find yourself emerging from some sort of back chamber that is perfectly dried. You do notice as well that there is a little bit of blood on the ground still, and you do hear two voices speaking in the other chamber, neither of which you can understand, but you do recognize them. It does sound to be Cal and the dragon.
Just so I don't track water in here, I'm gonna like shake off my feathers and make sure I'm dry, 'cause I know he doesn't like that.
Okay.
And then I'd make my way up.
As you kind of enter the chamber, you do find him and Cal talking as the dragon itself seems to be, it has this sort of like, it almost looks like a plain like sack, like a plain cloth sack, but some of the items you see him kind of shoving into this sack seem significantly larger than what this bag should hold, as he is like dumping items into this. And you do see that what looks to have probably once been a very large mound of things is kind of been reduced to like probably about 30-40 different items that are kind of laying about, many of which you are very like, they look to be very large. And looking amongst the pile itself, I'll name some of the items that you would be able to like kind of identify what they are. Some of which you have no idea what these things are, but you do notice within it there seems to be, among them, there's a large whip that looks to be, it almost looks like the tentacle of like a giant octopus with this kind of like purplish handle to it. You notice that there is this armor that almost looks like, it almost takes on like a draconic appearance. It looks to probably fit someone of kind of medium size. It would never fit you. You notice a few other items. There's several rings, several rods with various carvings within them. There looks to be, and I'm going to describe this as we would understand it. Arrow would have no idea what this is. It looks like a surfboard of some sort. That he kind of like shoves into a bag. And there's a couple other items as well, like trident, a few more of the like odd looking weapons like whips and swords and things of that nature. The other items you can't identify what they are, what their purpose is. They just have odd shapes, or they look to be probably just like spheres or cubes with like arcane runes on them.
I guess I'd announce my presence and be like, I have good news. I see you're already packing up.
And he turns to you and just says, "That I am. No thanks to what has happened."
Apologies again, but we were able to call off the kill party. They're fine with you living as long as you move.
And kind of pauses a little bit, says, "Oh, I guess that is somewhat of a relief."
And two other notes, they're getting a group together to go kill the white dragon. So, I guess your adversary you won't have to worry about.
Oh, that could be an improvement if they succeed.
They're getting quite a large group. I will be joining them.
I would probably highly recommend not joining them. I think if your little friends end up encountering this dragon, you all would most likely have a better chance. But that's just me speaking.
Wait, what? Does he mean, huh? Does he mean if our group finds the dragon, we'll have a better time than the Goliaths?
He's saying your group would have a better chance of staying alive if they encountered the dragon than the Goliaths.
Interesting. And why would you say that?
Because the main thing he kills around here are Goliaths and those warriors that live here. He knows how they fight. He knows what they do. And he knows how to kill them. There are a few that, yes, would give him a time. But many of them are simply just a hindrance.
Do you have any advice or help that would aid in his death?
Don't bunch up if he encounters you. That cold breath that he can produce has been the death of many.
Noted. I've experienced it firsthand. It truly isn't fun.
I will also say that if he does discover you don't have the thing that you gave me, he may find the fight to be pointless and leave.
Do you have any way to make a replica or a look-alike, essentially?
I can make an attempt, assuming you are leaving this place at some point soon. I could probably find you or send the drow to come find you.
I was gonna offer assistance in moving. I have bags of holding as well, and I'll pull out the two that I have.
This bag that I'm currently using should be fine. And you notice, like, as you've been like talking, he has not stopped putting things into the bag. I said, it would be faster if I brought them to my new lair. One that, well, only the drow knows about. The less that know, the better.
I agree with you there. And, I hate to ask after my screw up, but would you have anything to aid in one of the warriors who helped persuade them from killing you? His sister has been brought back from the dead. Her soul has been spliced, I'm assuming with his. She's not doing well, but she will be important in our future battles to come in the war.
Who's this individual and how did they die?
What's Magnus's sister's name again?
Let me find the note.
Talia Grimga.
Yeah, that's the one. Talia.
Her name's Talia Grimga. She died from what we can only assume was a bloodhound that was sent to the village by a paladin.
Bloodhound. Fascinating.
He has made contracts with several devils and demons to bring her back.
Where are you heading once you leave here, and when are you leaving?
We will be leaving the party in the morning. I'll be retrieving a new weapon I got from a blacksmith. I'm forging from a dagger.
And you are heading which way?
I don't think they mentioned a direction, did they?
You would know it'd be southward.
Oh, okay. We'd be going southward.
How about this? I will find you in 2 days. I will bring you the thing that could help you. The duplicate or distraction. And I can possibly supply a sort of aid.
Would you have any artifacts that would help against cold damage? I would return them after the fight. I do not wish to take more from you.
Unfortunately, I do not. Mainly because they're not items of my interest.
Well, any bit can help with this upcoming battle. I appreciate everything you've done.
And kind of gives you a nod, turns towards Cal, says something to him. Cal kind of nods. You do notice that Cal has a few pretty gnarly cuts. It looks like he fell on his way down the mountainside.
Oh, God.
But he does look to be fine nonetheless.
Cal, what are you doing here anyways? I was shocked to see the blood trail.
I was attempting to warn him before, the fight came here. And then possibly produce an illusion that would buy time.
Your help has been immeasurable. You were able to contact Journey. She was the one who persuaded the Goliaths.
Well, at least the call that I gave was of use.
I'll leave you two to it. I'm gonna attempt to get back out of here.
And kind of gives you, they both kind of give you a nod. And, Cal just continues to speak with the dragon as the dragon finishes up cleaning up the rest of the stack. Kind of the last thing you see him kind of grabbing as you kind of make your way back to the tunnel is like the armor that he kind of shoves into the bag. And re-entering this chamber that you had like entered in at, you notice there's like 6 or 7 different paths that could be taken. You know which one you took because there is a bit of water around the edge of it. Would you like to attempt to swim back out?
Can I tell if the other passes lead to a dead end?
You would not be able to tell this.
All right, I'm not gonna risk it. I'm just. I think I'd get lost. No,
Okay.
actually. Oh, no. Okay, what path? Do any of the paths look promising?
They all look very, very similar. They seem to all jut in different directions. There is 2 that you can definitely tell that, like, if you took that path, they're probably longer paths. You might not make it. You know the one you took, you can definitely do, as long as the water doesn't hit you hard enough to knock the air out of you.
I just tighten up again and then get ready to jump into the water.
Constitution.
Well,
Saving throw.
Yeah, I know it was coming. 18. Ugh.
You're a little used to it. And you only take 2 points of cold damage this time. As you dive back into the water and begin to your very aggressive swim back. I'm not going to make you roll an athletics check for this time. But you do make it back, kind of gasping for air as you surface. I will let you roll an acrobatics, though, to attempt not to be beaten against the rocks and to attempt to get out of the water enough to have your wings be able to function. Because water and feathers don't quite go well together, but there is a chance that you could succeed.
I got a nat 1, so it doesn't even matter.
You get slammed into the rocks and take 10 points of bludgeoning damage as you are slammed against these rocks.
Oh, fuck. Alright.
Second acrobatics check, because this is the only way out is acrobatics.
22.
22. The second time you are kind of...
13.
The second time you are thrown towards these rocks, you do manage to catch yourself in a way that, like, allows you to hold on to something. And for the brief time you have between the waves, you are able to kind of beat off most of the water from your wings.
Beat off the water.
Shut your mouth. Before kind of taking flight. It's a little bit of a sloppy kind of flight compared to what you normally do, but you understand why.
Beat it off.
Quick question before I just go back to the group. When I was in that blacksmith, would I have noticed any staffs or cloaks I know you said he didn't have a lot of magical items.
You would have noticed. You would have. You would have noticed. There probably would have been one or two like quarterstaffs in there. They may have not necessarily been like quarterstaffs used as weapons, but they are quarterstaff. Like they could be used as weapons.
Mm-hmm. That's it. No cloaks.
No cloaks in there. He's a smith. He doesn't do any kind of cloth wear.
All right. I'm just going to go back.
Yes.
Get ready.
You are very cold as well. I will say that.
Oh yeah. I'm cold and bloodied.
I will say, as you kind of reach the top of the cliffside and kind of like glance back, you do see what looks like an orca jump from the water before shifting back to Cal before he uses the wings that he had before and kind of follows up after you. You do notice, though, as he gets up there, he is completely dry.
Are you heading to the second layer?
No. I simply spoke with him. And after you left, I did read his fortune for him, as he was intrigued by my ability to tell the future through cards.
What was his future?
His is a bit brighter than most of ours. I will say, well, brighter in the sense of he has a very high chance of getting the thing that he wants. On the other hand,
what he wants.
He did not mention anything, but he kind of pulls a card from the deck, and you kind of see on the card the way he's holding it. You see kind of like a human child standing before this open door with a silhouette on the inside of it with open arms, looking to like embrace them. The other half of the card you don't see through underneath his thumb, but he says, "This card generally, in this orientation, tells of finding something that is lost to one, or being found yourself."
That's always good.
For him, it seems more than likely it's whatever he is pursuing, considering he's already been found.
Should we make our way back to the group then? And get ready?
It would be for the best if we get ready, yes.
Alright, I'll head back to the group. I'm gonna hit the bathroom real quick.
Yes. Alright, during that time, Magnus would have been following Kala up to the thing. What about everyone else while Magnus was following up there? Because I'm about to jump to Magnus's thing. I just want to see what everyone else was doing.
Can I practice more with cards?
You can go back to the room and practice more with cards, yes?
Yes. Do I need to do a sleight of hand?
In a minute. Journey, what are you doing? Are you just going with Leo?
I'm probably just getting ready to leave.
Okay.
Packing and stuff.
Alright. Magnus, you pursue Kala after he went into the monastery. What would you like to do?
Magnus is just gonna go to Kala and just tell him, look, I need you to do me a favor, Kala.
Alright. And the favor?
No hero shit. If it looks bad, you get out of there. You don't sacrifice sons and daughters just for a hunt. Alright? Being the damn hero, it's why we lost her, Kala. You're not dying before me, too.
I have no plan of dying before you. But if that is what you insist, I'll do my best.
I'll see you with a dragon head in your hand.
We can only hope. And it more than likely will happen.
Maybe if we're lucky, your hunt will bring you closer to where I am. Maybe I'll even get to join it.
Maybe it will. He kind of gives you kind of half nod, heads into his chambers to prepare for the travel. I assume there's nothing else anyone wants to do for this time? Just prepare? All right.
Prepare.
I will say, Leo, roll a sleight of hand check as you practice for the rest of the day.
Yes. Alright, don't fail me now. Fuck! I got a 10.
Okay. You seem to... You're having a tough time with the cards this time. They're kind of like falling out of your hand, and as you're kind of doing this, like, the others who are in the room see you doing this. There's a few times that you see Trinket kind of giggle to herself as she's messing with her own cards off in the corner. And you do see on occasion Cal kind of like glance over to you. It doesn't seem he's amused or anything, but he seems to be thinking. It's just as these cards seem to fall on the floor, he seems to like, his eyes seem to be attracted to them just because it is a movement, and then he kind of goes back to thinking.
Interesting.
But for the rest of the day, you all prepare yourselves, preparing the sled for Magnus's sister and gathering your supplies. Are you staying in the monastery the rest of the day, Errol?
I'd probably ask Kala if he has any advice for killing a dragon, and I'll let him know what the other man said.
Okay. I'm not going to go through the role play for this real quick because I want to move forward. He would kind of give you the advice of... It's nothing like... To you, it doesn't seem anything like outstanding. He mainly just mentioned something of striking fast and striking harder than the dragon, which is, as you've been able to tell, is kind of his kind of shtick. Being able to punch hard and do it fast.
Would he be at all shocked hearing that our group may fare better than the Goliaths, since the dragon is that's his favorite thing to hunt?
He kind of scoffs at the comment and straight up just kind of tells you that that's not true without saying it's not true.
All right.
But as you all kind of rest for the night, Journey,
What's up?
you have a vision in the night. You see, looking upon a great field, one of Almoria that you've been through once or twice. It's the western plains of Almoria on the west sides of the mountains. You see, as you kind of are in this almost bird's eye view, this battle ensuing down below. You see, at first you don't recognize them, but you see a small party looking to be fighting this red dragon. And after a moment of kind of watching, you come to realize that these are those that you had met your first day in Morian Bay. Those you had traveled to the dragon's keep of the dragon that had been missing for several months. You see Calder and Kellic, Jabbers, and a few others that you don't recognize as well, fighting this dragon before watching this dragon fall from the sky as it is slain before essentially going nuclear, blowing a huge crater within this field. And after a moment or two, you're from this blast, you were kind of blinded by this light for a moment.
Darn dark vision.
And then your vision changes to some of the soldiers on the battlefield as a fight occurs after this, and you see these Almorian troops fighting the Sarstagian troops, and you do see a few that look as this battle ensues and you see Almoria become victorious over this battle. There are a few faces that look familiar to you in some way. Some that look to be, you see a few individuals slain on the ground that look to be those you've met along the way on your travels. People that you didn't know all that well, but you remembered them because they left that sort of impression on you as you'd been traveling around performing. And amongst them, you also see a tabaxi that almost has very familiar features to Trinket. This male individual looking to be a bit older, not within a suit of armor of any kind, but seems to be slain somewhere away from this fight, as a short individual in a cloak seems to be walking away from them holding some sort of mechanical orb in hand. And as you kind of see this, your vision cuts out and you find yourself waking up kind of in this, well, essentially because you are in a cold sweat. And it is probably about 30 minutes before sunrise is when you are awoken from this vision.
I'll go and awake Trinket.
She kind of mutters in her sleep for a moment and lets out a long yawn before rubbing her eyes and looking at you and just says, "Is it time to get up?"
I was granted a vision, and I have to ask, do you have any living relations back in Almoria?
My mother and my father.
Was your father a fighter?
No. He was an inventor and a very novice enchanter. Why?
I had a vision of a slain tabaxi, older. Somebody was taking some kind of mechanical device from his body.
You see her eyes go wide and she kind of freezes up. And you know that if she was human, she would be paper pale right now.
Now this vision happened during the day. And obviously it's happening. It would not be daytime in Almoria. It was a vision during the day, right?
Yeah, it would be about midday was the time of this vision, yes.
So, whenever these events happened, it was not during rest. So, there's a chance that they've not happened yet. It took place on the western plains bordering Sarfstag. Great battle. I saw those who ventured to the Dragon's Cave back when we first met in Moraine Bay. They managed to defeat a red dragon. I'm not sure the significance of that. And it seemed Almoria won at great cost. I recognized many of the faces of the Fawn. in my travels before we met. But I believe it would be in our best interest to head towards the Western Plains as soon as possible if there's a chance of perhaps intervening in the fate of, well, sorry, this is horribly insensitive the way I'm putting all this. No, I'll hug her.
She seems to be unable to respond, almost in a form of shock. And you kind of get the feeling that she's trying to respond, but she just cannot.
Screw it. I'm just gonna wake everyone up.
Okay.
My beauty sleep.
My beauty sleep, no. Oh, you're a monk, you don't sleep that much.
I'm an owl too. I'm nocturnal.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, I sort of had a vision last night that may or may not have shown the death of Trinket's father on the battlefield, and I was thinking, maybe we could just quickly head over to Almoria and perhaps intervene, do something about that, because just gesturing, she's in a state of shock, which is very understandable, and yeah.
Yeah, the rest of you see her completely frozen, staring kind of at the ground, and she seems to be... You can't even call it muttering, because it's not even quite even words, and it's not even... She's not making all that much noise. She seems to be trying to, but she can't.
With all due respect, we don't have the troops together to even do anything. And isn't it a several-day trip?
No, the battle I saw was one in Almoria's favor. There's other heroes there.
Other heroes like who?
Well, Magnus, Trinket, and I knew others before we met you. They remained behind.
Can I do an insight check on how he's asking? Body language, way he's talking. Or she, sorry.
Sure.
Obviously, me as the player knows that Journey's obviously in love with Trinket, but...
Oh, you want to look at that.
Oh, I got a 26. Just one away from a nat 20.
I think, because I had a DC in my head based on how things have gone, I think you would have an idea that there is something there. At least from Journey's side.
Let's go. How do I want to use that?
What evil ways can I use this information?
Alright. I'm waiting for you to say something. Neryl has a response.
My character's just gonna raise an eyebrow and then just lead. Am I like... Wait, so we just got out of bed, right?
You're all in your own separate cots, except for Journey is standing next to the cot that Trinket was in, or is in, that she's just kind of sitting in now.
Okay, so by this time before I would have done that while she was speaking, I would have probably gone to crisscross applesauce. And then now I'm gonna probably probably just lean forward, put my elbows on my knees, kind of like looking intently at Journey, like curiously.
So I'm picturing it is the same gesture that would be from like those movies of like girls sleepovers where one of the girls figures something out about another. That's what I'm picturing. This is like a Mean Girls moment or something like that.
Yes.
Which is totally Leo's facade.
My character's like, interesting.
Not even mentioning or even acknowledging the tragedy that has just been discovered. No.
Nah.
There's something deeper happening here.
Errol pick up on this.
I would say you would notice him make this odd gesture, but you're not entirely sure what it's for. It's like you get the idea because Leo has this impression of like when he figures something out or thinks he does, he seems to act a certain way, and you've kind of learned that gesture.
Right. I'd just say
You'd have, but you can bring it up. I mean, I'd be happy to tell you.
I'd just say, you look mighty intrigued, Leo.
Well, you know, us bards have a way of acting, if you know what I mean.
I'm a monk.
I know. You know, we have a certain way with certain genders.
Spit it out already.
As you kind of look around the room, I will say, Leo, as you say this, you do notice Cal makes a face as like he realizes what you're talking about, and you do see like him subconsciously pulling out from the deck some card, and he starts like spinning it.
What's his facial features like? Is he saying like, is it like don't say it or? Or
no, but it's kind of like I know where you're going, and there's a part of you get an idea from him of like maybe this isn't the time, but he's not trying to stop you in any kind of way.
The time. Anyways, what did Errol say right before I started speaking?
You seem intrigued about something.
To be honest, I lost my train of thought.
You seem a little quirked up white girl.
I don't know. Journey, anything you want to tell us? I agree with Errol. This probably isn't the time, and I think you know that.
It isn't the time. I saw my countrymen dead. I recognize those faces.
No, that's not it.
Speak plainly. What are you on about?
Cal kind of taps his chin with the card that he was holding, and you can kind of see from the angle of the card, it looks like there's a... Leo, you'd be able to see this, and Errol, you'd be able to see it as well. On the card, you can see what looks like a half-elven man offering this elven woman a bouquet of flowers as she's kind of smiling at him, looking at him in sort of a shocked and flattered look.
Hold up, let me check my character's intelligence. I want to say, I'm base intelligence. Would I see this?
Yes, if you want to roll an insight on the card, you might get the idea of what it is.
Figure out like based on the image.
No, I'm saying insight on the image to tell you what the image is representing.
Okay, I'm a little retarded. Let me see. Insight.
Oh shit, do I have to do it too? I just realized my intelligence is at 10.
I said insight, not intelligence.
Oh, insight. What is that? Wisdom?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. My wisdom's at 17. I think. Would I be good? Or should I still roll it?
You should. Is your you're saying your passive insight?
My passive insight's a 7. Oh, my passive insight's a 17 as well.
Okay.
Oh, my passive insight is a 19.
You would probably, based on, and I would say a little bit of knowledge you've probably gotten from Cal in your travels and things of that nature, this section of this card is identified as the lover.
Wait, would I have known that too, or just him?
You both would have probably picked that up, because Cal has been, like, on the travels, like, telling about like the deck and how it works and what each of the cards mean and things of that nature. Like he's been like slowly teaching you guys what he can teach you without like teaching you how to use the deck per se. If that makes
Errol's
sense.
just
I also have a
laughing
proficiency
and
in
like a rollover on his side.
Yeah, can I say before you would have done that, I would have like side-eyed you and just smiled and then looked back at Journey.
Cal doesn't even realize he's tapping this card on his chin though.
Can I look at the card too?
Yes, you can see the card.
Passive.
And-
Okay. Should I roll passive insight?
What is your passive insight?
13.
You can roll an insight if you want to.
Okay. I'll roll an insight. It's just a 10.
F.
You see this card, and it's, you know, based on what, like, you don't quite get the full context of it. You see the card and see the picture. You don't know why he's tapping his chin with it, and you kind of get it looks like he's not meaning to. It looked like he just kind of grabbed a card and is like tapping his chin with it. It's just kind of weird that it's that card of all cards, but you don't know the reasoning for it.
My
So it's
character
kind of like. Oh, please continue.
my character would still be like leaning forward on his knees like that, like previously, like not have changed his body language, just looking around in different areas. But after looking at the card, giving Arrow the side eye and smiling, and then looking back at Journey, he'd probably just say, "I'll keep it to myself." You.
No, I want you to say it.
Errol's laughing.
You got something to say it. Get it off your chest.
Cal looks confused for a second and looks at the cards, and he almost looks embarrassed as he realizes what he did. And he slides the card back in the deck, and he kind of like lowers his head a little bit, and he's just like, you could tell he's kind of like, shit, I just did that.
Shit.
So you were saying what did Journey say?
Got something to say? Get off your chest. You accusing me of something?
I'm not accusing you of anything. This isn't mine to
You can
what's
do
the
it.
words? I can do it. This isn't mine to either mess up or accomplish, for lack of a better word. You got it. I believe in you.
But since you're all thinking about it, yes. Okay?
What is Errol doing?
Errol's just kind of laughing. He's like, I thought something was up. But
For a long time, too.
You kind of see Cal awkwardly scratch his neck as he's like, he's still thinking, shit, I just made this worse. It's also clear that you can tell that Cal knew stuff was going on, you know, being a bard. He knew there was something there the whole time. He just never said it because it wasn't his place to. And that's why he's acting awkwardly now.
Anything. That's why I'm not saying anything.
No, I'm not gonna say anything more. I just go, no, but I agree. We need to head over to Almoria. However, I'd prefer to at least eliminate one of our issues.
Yeah. Or you say like something like, and if you think that's like complicating my motives here, you're wrong.
No, I know. Errol shake his head and like the hands and be like, no. I just didn't realize until now. I might just be oblivious.
Okay.
I think I'd be looking back and forth between Journey and Trinket.
Trinket's clearly not taking in any of this information. She is locked on the idea her father is dead.
All right, yeah. Do I have any small rocks?
What?
There, you could find something of the
No,
sort.
I'm just gonna be like, all right, that's enough, Leo.
I didn't say anything. I was just looking back and forth.
Is that fine with you if we kill the at least attempt to get rid of this dragon problem before heading over?
I have no timetable on when my vision took place, if it happened already, or if it will come. All I know is So, well,
Not
listen, the
talk
bright
to a
side,
resident.
Jabbers is still alive.
Why
That's
not talk
nice.
to a resident fortune teller?
How I see it is we have an opportunity. We have a group of trained fighters. If we could eliminate one of these problems from not coming back and biting us in the ass later on the line, especially on the battlefield, I would rather take that.
I'll turn to Cal and say,
Oh, I was gonna say
you,
something.
you have gifts. Perhaps they could be used to clarify my vision.
I'd chime in and be like, I've also already made deals with the dragon to meet up in 2 days.
I was gonna make a
Perhaps.
joke about biting on the ass with Journey and Trinket, but that ship has sailed, I guess.
You mean
Ship has literally.
you're talking to confirm your vision and what time frame it is?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if there's a chance I can somehow help Trinket's father, then I cannot, in good conscience, delay that if the time frame conflicts with that of hunting this white dragon.
He kind of gives you a nod, and you see him kind of begin to shuffle the deck as he usually does. And unlike it's a little different from what he usually does. The cards seem to almost. You notice his hands are moving, but there's a point when the cards no longer even touch his hands. He's still making the gesture of like shifting cards around, but the cards aren't in his hand. They kind of hover in front of him. And his hands remain in the same spot while these cards kind of move about a foot from him and begin to do their own thing. And you see 3 cards regarding the vision emerge. And I can describe the cards as well as you guys would kind of know some of these names by this point. Where is it? The first one looks to be blood. Blood and water. The side of blood being the top of the card. The second card, which goes by the name The Grave and the Living, with the grave on top, indicating that is part of the fortune. And then the last, which is joy and sorrow. Sorrow being on top.
Gonna clench a fist.
And you see as he kind of does this, you actually see a tear roll down Cal's cheek as his eyes are closed before the cards slowly pull back. And as you are kind of getting into this kind of rage, one more card kind of emerges for a moment, which you notice as the Protector and the Murderer. And as you see the Murderer on top, you see you see the vision again of the small cloaked figure walking away with the orb. And then
Is
the
there
cards.
any further detail of this individual that I can pick out?
When you think back to the vision kind of pauses in front of you. Roll me a straight wisdom, actually, to see how much detail you would get from this.
Okay. Let's see if it rolls.
You laughing at what I posted?
It's hilarious.
I wanted to make that biting on the ass joke so bad, but people kept talking.
Does this mean that she dead?
Only 4.
He is dead. 24. Okay.
No, just 4.
Just a 4. You don't get any other details from it. You just notice that this individual is small and seems to be in the possession of some sort of mechanical orb that you don't know the origins for. Then the cards kind of go back to Cal. Though before they even get to his hand, they seem to actually fall and hit the ground and scatter. He kind of lets out a gasp for a second and looks a little confused over the cards before he begins to like pick them up.
Errol would get up and go give a drink and a hug.
Yeah.
She doesn't respond to the hug.
We'll just.
She does?
She does not.
Okay.
Just kind of like in the same, just kind of sitting there with her.
You do also notice, kind of looking over at Cal while he's doing this, the tattoo on the back of his hand, which you know is usually glows whenever he is doing the fortune telling, it hasn't dimmed. It is still glowing as he is moving these cards around. He just hasn't noticed. And there's a moment as he is moving these cards around. I would say the only person who would notice this would be Errol, because of his perception. You notice that Cal's eyes have whited out. And he is shifting these cards around on the ground without any conscious knowing of what he's doing.
I'm gonna watch what he's doing and how they're shifting.
You see how him moving these cards around. And as he does, it seems to spell different words with the card. He seems to spell different words with the cards without realizing it. And as he does, you get the sentence, "The end is nigh." Before he comes back, kind of as he's like moving these cards one last time, and it takes on almost a circular shape of some sort, and the cards the way that he kind of moves the cards almost seem to resemble that of a clock. And then he snaps back and he kind of blinks several times and he looks down at the cards and he just kind of pauses and stares at them. And he looks at the back of his hand and you notice that the back of his hand slowly dims as he's looking at it.
What does that mean? The end is nigh.
Did I do something just now?
Yes, you shifted the cards around. Said the end is nigh, and then the clock was spinning.
I'm not sure. I've never blacked out like that before. And
I don't have it.
You see, he starts like collecting the cards up like quickly, kind of a little nervous. And he's like, the end is nigh. And he kind of, as he kind of gets the last card up, and he kind of looks off to the side, and he goes, I don't know what could have gotten over me to make such a message with the cards.
Whatever it was, your eyes turned white. I've never seen that before.
I've only ever heard of something of this happening once or twice to fortune tellers like myself.
Does it have a meaning?
The messages are never wrong.
Oh, that's ominous.
Guess we have to change fate then.
They also don't give a specific amount of time with said messages. We could have weeks, maybe months, or it could be as short as days or hours. We don't know.
Do we really have time to hunt this dragon? Whatever's happening in Almoria seems to be... We need to get back.
There's something bigger happening than we know. Something far beyond just us.
I need time to think on this.
Time is something we do not have.
The cards seem very certain about that.
I think, this is Cal speaking, he says, I think we should get Magnus's sister to where she needs to be, and then we should try to get back. Whether
The dragon is along the way.
then we need to make haste.
It
We need to be
appears that
fast.
Sarstag has aligned itself with dragons.
I think cutting off one will help. Those mages were Starthagian, correct?
Perhaps they were trying to court its support. I saw our contemporaries and Almoria bring down a red dragon.
Was there anything special about this dragon?
I would say
Not
you would
anymore.
have noticed that it was augmented. It had metal plating that had been attached to it and seemed to have been reinforced in certain ways.
I'll communicate that, saying it appeared to have been augmented, metal fused to its scales, augmented in some way, strengthened, reinforced, but it died like any other.
We will be meeting with the Topaz Dragon on our way to slay the other. He will give us some items that can help. One for Magnus's sister as well. And possibly even aid in the fight.
What's horrible is, even with how I, what I might have thought of Magnus, what I might have said after he brought his sister back, I'm thinking about what I wouldn't do. My brother, my parents were killed.
Errol just grimaces at this.
I need to get back home.
I may offer a suggestion that might get us there quicker upon us leaving this continent, our country. If we attempt to go towards Normandy instead of trying to go around Tiberia again, we may be able to acquire a faster passage back to Almoria.
What do you mean acquire?
I have a few contacts of Normandy, a few wizards that I aided at a time, who may return a long due favor and can
That
teleport us
sounds
there.
amenable. I think I should go speak to Magnus.
What time is it, by the way?
I would say this conversation probably would have gotten you about 2 hours after sunrise.
Okay.
I'd like to go find Magnus if that's possible.
Yes, I will say he did leave, like not
Rest-
Magnus, but
no.
Dread. He did leave.
Oh.
So, what would you want? What are you wanting to tell him? I'm just curious.
Oh, I guess Jernubi telling him that her priorities had kind of like changed, and that Trinket's father was murdered,
Okay.
which is kind of I know like he has kind of like a friendship with her, so I thought he should probably know.
Yeah.
Kind of like
I will
he
make a
just went
note of
through, like,
that.
his sister dying.
Yeah, I'll make a
So-
note of that for next session because we are gonna end a little early tonight. But
Okay. Okay. So I guess in the absence of that, I will try talking to Trinket again, while I'm kind of seated there with her.
Okay. Errol, what were you doing? You said you were going to do something. I think you did. Are you just going to go? Are you just going to go get your weapon?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go to the shop, grab the weapon.
I will get you that stat block next. It's sometime in the next 2 weeks because I do not have that made yet.
This guy always
Would there
unprepared.
be any like? No, I don't need to armor the dog. It's fine. It wouldn't fucking help anyways.
Dog like in JoJo.
The fuck?
Yeah, no, I would just be getting the weapon. And
Okay.
That's
You
about it.
see, like, as this is happening, like, you're comforting, Journey is comforting Trinket. Cal seems to have ripped some sort of journal from his pack and is begin to rapidly start writing in it. What is Barnabas doing? Leobardo.
Oh, wait, I
Not
would
Barnabas,
also,
Leobardo.
I wanna keep working with the cards. I'm trying to get that proficiency. I forgot I can actually work to get proficiencies.
Yes.
Before I left to get the weapon, could I get Magnus, if he's not with Kala, to translate the scripts?
I would say let's save that till next time.
Alright, cool. Is it the end of the session?
I would say as you all kind of go your separate ways in this moment of trying to prepare yourself for the journey ahead, we will end the session tonight.
Meanwhile, I'm playing with fucking cards.
Yes, you're playing with your cards.
Can I roll another one though, just to?
Yeah, let's let you roll another one. Yeah, while everyone else is doing their thing.
I got a 6.
You just this whole situation, even though it's not really affecting you, seems to got you on edge a little bit. You can't seem to make these cards move right.
I'm just gonna chalk that up to being woken up ruefully. That's what I'm gonna chalk that up to.
Well, on the note,
sleepy.
we can talk more in a second, but I would like to end the stream. So, if you guys enjoyed this and you enjoy any of the other ones, there are 3 ways to catch us in the next one. You can follow us on Twitch, turn on those notifications so you know when we go live. Join the Discord, where we have a community of us D&D lovers who, on occasion, speak with each other. If we get a bigger community, we may start doing events, things of that nature. And the last way is to follow us on Twitter, where I try to keep everyone up to date. Some days it's difficult because the place I work does not have great cell reception, so sometimes I can't post anything until later in the day.
Okay.
But it's an unfortunate existence. And if you want to catch up on previous episodes and listen to them from beginning to wherever we are now, you can go check out the YouTube page where we have curated some very well-crafted playlist just for you to listen to them in order. And as always, we hope you guys enjoyed. Hope to see you all in the next one. Peace.